Welcome back, guys. So in this particular video we are going to be focusing on Venn diagrams. We are still on set theory, and today we are going to be talking about Venn diagrams. What is Venn diagram? Venn diagram is the pictorial or diagrammatical representation of sets. The pictorial or diagrammatical representation of sets is what we mean by what? Venn diagram. Now, as Prof. John Venn introduced Venn diagrams, this simply means that who firstly talked about Venn diagram or who introduced Venn diagram to us is who? Prof. John Venn. And that is why the name was what? Venn diagram. So as George Cantor is referred to as the father of set theory. So this simply means that in set theory, you must not confuse these two names together. One is John Venn, the other is George Cantor. But John Venn we can refer John Venn to as the father of Venn diagram, while we can refer George Cantor to as the what? Father of set theory. So this simply means that who started the idea of set theory or who brought the idea of set theory is what? George Cantor. So that is that. Then the next thing you have to notice is that if we are talking about Venn diagram calculation, we can have Venn diagram involving two sets, and we can also have Venn diagram involving three sets. Now, for Venn diagram involving two sets, there are formulas we usually consider. Although you have to understand this fact that Venn diagram can either be solved with the use of Venn diagrams, with the use of the diagram, or without the use of the diagram. Whenever we are not using the diagram, we are going to be using the trick method. And the trick method is very simple. Just make sure you listen very well to this tutorial video. Make sure you are calm and you are jotting stuff down. So if you have any question, don't forget to drop it in the comment section. Now let's talk about the Venn diagram involving two sets. So let's start with Venn diagram involving two sets. So for Venn diagram involving two sets, if you want to use the diagram, then you have to know this formula. You have to know this formula because this formula can also be asked in exam. So the formula is N A junior B is equals to N of A plus N of B minus N A intersection B. Firstly, you have to know what N means. N simply means the cardinality, the number. And you have to know that this A and B is just for the general representation of the question. In some particular question that might be given to you in exam or tests, they might not use A and B, it might be P and Q or any other alphabet. So if it is just P and Q, you just change the formula to N P junior Q is equals to N of P plus N of Q minus N P intersection Q. So that is that. But for now, since we are just doing it generally, our N A junior B is equals to N of A plus N of B minus N A intersection B. So you have to know that, note, if there is no known, your A junior B will equal to the universal set. But if there is none, your A junior B will equal to the universal set minus none. This A junior B complement simply means none. Now, what we mean by none? You see, sometimes, let's say you are doing a party, you are throwing a party, and in this party, you are sharing two drinks, you are sharing Fanta and you are sharing Coca-Cola. You invited 30 people to this party. You invited 30 people to this party. So the 30 people you invited to this party, those are the universal sets. Are you there? But you see that out of these 30 people, they can either drink Fanta or they drink Coca-Cola. Now, those that drink Fanta will be different from those that drink Coca-Cola. But you also have to know that some people might love to drink both Fanta and Coca-Cola. Are you there? So, but there can also be some people that don't like soda. Are you there? So, some people might just come to the party without drinking either Fanta or Coca-Cola. So, those that will not drink either Fanta or Coca-Cola, those are the ones that we usually refer to as what? Known. Are you there? So, you also have to understand something that not everybody that drank Fanta will also drink Coca-Cola. So this simply means that some will drink Fanta only, while some will drink Coca-Cola only, while some will drink Fanta and Coca-Cola. So that is why you have to understand the meaning of number of people that drank Fanta and the meaning of number of people that drank Fanta only. So if you're talking about the number of people that drank Fanta, among them we can have those that also drank Coca-Cola. But if you're talking about the number of people that drank Fanta only, this simply means that these people drank only Fanta. They didn't drink Coca-Cola. So that is what you have to understand about that. The same thing for Coca-Cola. We can also have Coca-Cola and we can also have Coca-Cola only. For Coca-Cola, some of them might also drink Fanta. Why for Coca-Cola only? They only drank Coca-Cola, they did not drink what? Fanta. So that is just like a general representation. Let us look at a particular example in solving this question. The question is, now, what I want to let you know is that in this particular video, I'm going to talk about Venn diagram involving two sets, where we are going to talk about the trick method, and we also talk about the use of the diagrammatic representation. So let's move on. I'm going to use this same question. I'm going to use Venn diagram in solving it, and I will also solve it without using the Venn diagram. So they said in MTH 102 tutorial group of 30 students. Guys, this simply means that the universal set solution. This simply means that the universal set is equals to 30. 17 study physics. This simply means that the number of physics is equals to 17. 15 study mathematics, the number of maths is equals to 15. Is equals to 15. Why 10 study neither mathematics nor physics? This simply means that they do not do physics and mathematics. Those that do none, we are going to take as N P union M complement, and that's equals to 10. So once the first step in Venn diagram is that you should firstly write out the question like this. Write out the question. Write out the interpret the question and write out the parameters. Once you've written out the parameters, then do the calculation. The first calculation you should do is the intersection. You are firstly going to do your what? Intersection. So how are we going to do the intersection? So you have to know that, okay, if I want to do the intersection, I'm going to be using this formula. Don't forget, we are using, for this particular year, we are using Venn diagrams by the use of Venn diagram. So this simply means that this question I'm going to use Venn diagram. So the first step is that I wrote out my parameters from the question. After I've written out the parameters from the question, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the intersection. But before I calculate the intersection, I will firstly check that are there some people in this question that do none, that not do anything? Yes, there are. This is it. P union M complement. Those that study neither mathematics nor physics. This simply means that they do not do mathematics and they do not do physics. So this simply means that you see that in this particular question, the alphabet given to us is P and M, not A and B. So we just change A to P, we will change B to N. So the formula here is going to change to N P union M equals N of P plus N of M minus N P intersection N. That's that, guys. So, but you now remember that if there is no known, the A union B will be equals to universal set. But if there is none, your A union B will be equals to universal set minus none. So you will see that there is none here. So therefore, this simply means that our N P union M would equals to the universal set minus the none P union M complement. So this is universal set, that is 30. The none, that is 10. So this is equals to 20. So we then, since our P union M is now 20, we will now substitute here. Substitute into this formula. So that will then be 20 equals 17 plus 15 minus N P intersection N. So therefore, your N P intersection N would equals to 17 plus 15, that is 32. Then 32 minus 20. So you should get you get it as 12. So the intersection is 12. This simply means that those that do both Fanta and those that did both physics and mathematics, they are 12. So if we just draw our Venn diagram, everybody look at how I'm going to draw my Venn diagram. Draw your Venn diagram. Now everything inside this box will represent your universal set. So this simply means that your universal set will equals to 30. So we have the physics, the number of people that do physics. If you just draw a circle like this, physics, that is 17. This simply means that the addition of everything inside this box must give us 17. So we also have those that did mathematics. If we draw it, this is mathematics, and that is equals to 15. So this center will be representing the intersection of this P and N. So, but before we do that, those that do not do physics or mathematics, that is 10, we are going to write it outside the box here. So the 10 will be written outside the box here. So this center is the intersection. You know, we've calculated our intersection, that is 12. So this will be 12. So therefore, guys, the next thing we are going to do is that you have to understand that this 17 must be equal to the addition of this and this. This 15 must be equal to the addition of this and this. So if this is 17, this is 12, then this one will be what? 5. If this is 17, this is 15, and this is 12, this one will be what? 3. Because 12 plus 1 must give us 17, 12 plus 3 must give us 15. Are you there with me? So then you have to understand something, that this center is the intersection of P and N, but this place is for physics only. This place is for mathematics only. So they ask us to calculate numbers that study both subjects. So number one, both subjects is equals to 12. So that is the P intersection N. Those that study B intersection N is equals to 12. Maths only. Number two, maths only. That is those that study mathematics only. And this place is for maths only. That is 3. Physics only. Physics only. That is 5. This place is for physics only. Those that study physics only. So you will see that this question is very simple by the use of Venn diagram. You just firstly have to interpret the question, the parameters given to you, write it out. After you've written out the parameter, you are going to determine in this question, is there those that do not do any of the two? If there is, then write it out also. Then you are going to write the general formula. Once you write out the general formula, you will then remember that, okay, if there is those that do not do any, you are going to minus it from the universal set in order to get your union. Right there. So once you've gotten your union, then the value you got, substitute into this formula and get your intersection. The intersection is what? Is 12. Right there. Then draw your Venn diagram, write the universal set up here. Those that do not write it outside, then do the intersection. So that is that about what? About that. So now let us solve this same question without the use of Venn diagram. In this particular video, I'm going to show you the trick in solving this question without the use of Venn diagram. Now guys, you want to solve this question, solution, by the use of trick. You want to solve this question by the use of trick. If you are using the trick, we are not going to use the formula, and we will not also use the Venn diagram. Look at how we are going to do it. Now, they said in the tutorial group of 30 students, 17 study physics, 15 study mathematics, 10 study neither of the two. Now guys, you know what you are going to do if you are using the trick? You must be very careful. If you want to use trick, use trick. If you want to use a Venn diagram, use a Venn diagram. So, but if you want to use trick, you must understand what you are doing so that you will not be doing rubbish. Do you get that? So now, if you want to use a trick, what you are going to do now is that, you know, 17 study physics, 15 study maths, why 10 study neither mathematics nor physics? 10 study neither mathematics nor physics. And this is the universal set. This is the universal set. What you are going to do now, guys, is that apart from the universal set, all the parameters given to you for physics, for mathematics, and those that do none, add them together. 17 plus 15, that is 32. 32 plus 10, that is 42. once you've added them together, then we are going to get our intersection. Your intersection P intersection M will equals to, you know, we've added this with this with this, that is 42, minus the universal set 30, and that's equals to 12. That's it. You see that the intersection is 12 as we got in the first part. Then we have gotten the first question like that. Both subjects is 12. That's it. Math only. Are you there with me? You see your math only would equals to number of those that study mathematics minus the intersection of physics and mathematics. So number of those that study mathematics is 15. So that be 15 minus 12. That's equals to 3. Number of those, now we want to do physics only also. Physics only. If you also do for number of those that study physics, that is 17. So that will be 17 minus the intersection again, 17 minus 12, and that's equals to 5. Guys, you can see which one is faster between the trick and the Venn diagram. Actually, you have to understand the Venn diagram also, but the thing is that you have to understand it very well. Not that you are going to be mixing things up. So whenever you are using the trick, what you just do is that you are going to identify the universal set. So apart from the universal set, all the parameters given to you, add them together. Once you've added them together, then minus the universal set from it, you will get your intersection. So if you want to get your math only, it will be the number of those that study math minus the intersection. If you want to get your physics only, it will be the number of those that study physics minus the intersection, and that's the answer, guys. That's very simple. Without the use of Venn diagram, just 3 lines. That is why I told you that when the time comes, you are going to be solving questions even without writing anything. You say that even if you understand this, you don't need to write anything, and you're going to get the answer. You can see that that's what we call the what? The speed. The speed. Let us look at one more questions in which there won't be none. So guys, let us solve this last question on Venn diagram involving 2 sets. Then in our next video, we are going to be talking about Venn diagram involving 3 sets. So in a class of 90 students, firstly, let us use the universal. Let us use the Venn diagram. Let's use the Venn diagram. So they say in a class of 90 students, simply means that the universal set is equals to 90, 45 takes physics, number of physics is equals to 45, and 58 takes chemistry, number of chemistry is equals to 58. Now, if each student takes at least one of the 2 courses, how many takes both physics, only chemistry? You will see that in this particular question, there is none. There is no none. That is, there is no those that not take physics and chemistry. So all the students, all the 90 people takes at least physics or chemistry. Are you there? So there is no none. Are you there? So therefore, this simply means that our NP union C would equals to the universal set, and that's equals to 90. Since there is no none, the union will be equals to universal set since there is no none. So therefore, change this formula to NP union C is equals to N of P plus N of C minus NP intersection C. Since our P union C is 90 degrees, sorry, that's 90 is equals to N of P is 45 plus 58 minus NP intersection C. So our NP intersection C. So what is 45 plus 58? That should be 103. Yes, that should be 103. Then what is 103 minus 90? That is 9. That should be 13. So your P intersection C will equal to what? 13. So now once you've gotten that, we are going to draw the Venn diagram. Let's draw the Venn diagram. So the universal set will equals to 90, everything in the box to the universal set. Draw the first circle for physics, that will be 45. Draw the second circle and let it to intersect chemistry, is also 58. So there is no none, so we are not going to write anything outside. Since we've calculated the intersection to be 13, so this center will be 13. Now don't forget that the addition of this and this must give us 45, this and this must give us 58. Now what is 45 minus 13? That should be 32. What is 58 minus 13? That should be 45. So another thing I did not explain in the first video, in the first part, is that the addition of this with this with this must always give us the universal set. Are you there? So 32 plus 13, that is 45, plus 45, that's what, 90, so we are correct. So this simply means that the interpretation, your P intersection C is equals to 13. So your P only, this 32 will be your P only. P only will equals to 32. And your C only will equals to 45. So this simply means that those that do physics only is 32. Chemistry only is 45. So that is that. Then let us look at the trick in solving it. Guys, don't forget what we usually do with the trick. So don't forget that in the class of 90 students, the universal set is 90, right? Note that 45 takes physics and 58 takes chemistry. You see that apart from the universal set, all the parameters given to us are just 2. So if you want to get the intersection, P intersection C, that will just be, what is 45 plus 58? 45 plus 58 is 103. It is 103 minus the universal set, minus 90. And that gives us what? 13. So that is very simple. That is very simple. Then you will now look for physics only. Physics only would be physics, that is 45 minus the intersection. 45 minus 13, and that is 32. Chemistry only would equals to chemistry minus intersection. 58 minus 13, and that is 45. That's the answer, guys. You don't need to stress yourself. So chemistry only will just be those that take chemistry minus the intersection. Physics only will be those that take physics minus the intersection, and that's it. And if you want to guess, if you want to know if what you've done is correct, the addition of this, the addition of intersection, physics only, chemistry, the addition of all these things must give us this universal set. 13 plus 42, that is 45. 45 plus 45, that is what? 90. Thank you for watching this video. In our next tutorial video, we are going to be talking about the Venn diagram involving 3 sets. In that class also, we will also be looking at the trick method and the what? Venn diagram. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and most importantly, don't forget to share to your friends and family. Thank you very much.